Steven Crowder is set to appear on TimCast IRL tonight, and I think it's going to be an explosive episode. I have not made a video on this particular topic. However, I have commented on it on several live streams, whether that be Tuesday night's main event over on Geeks and Gamers or Friday Night Tights that we do every Friday over on Nerdrotic's channel. And I have had a lot of people ask me about it, and I'm still not sure where I ultimately land on this. I have no loyalty towards Steven Crowder or the Daily Wire. I've never been a fan of Steven Crowder, and while I have worked with the Daily Wire in a couple of different projects, and I respect both parties, but ultimately I've had a lot of criticisms about the Daily Wire recently, and like I said, I've never really watched Crowder on a consistent basis, but I have respect for both parties. The Daily Wire is doing incredible things with entertainment and creating an alternative to Disney and Netflix and Hollywood, and obviously Steven Crowder is just a rock star and everything that he has created with his own brand, and recently now he's left the Blaze, and he had some early negotiations with the Daily Wire. Obviously, that fell apart. Now, Steven Crowder is creating his own network of sorts. Ben Shapiro has responded. Jeremy Boring, this co-CEO of the Daily Wire, has responded. Candace Owens has responded. Matt Walsh has responded. It's been wild. Now, you see this headline right here from Forbes, and I think this is why this entire situation is really bad for both parties, because people like Forbes are eating it up. Ben Shapiro and Steven Crowder are in the midst of a hilarious feud, and everyone that hates these guys are really enjoying this entire scenario. And I don't think it's good. I don't think it's good for the bigger picture, but it is good for Steven Crowder, who's really got this whole thing started when he made the video and he created the website. And now you have Ben Shapiro just losing his mind, it seems like. I've never really seen Ben Shapiro this triggered before, which I got to say, as someone that's not really a big fan of Ben Shapiro, I've kind of enjoyed watching that play out. But you're looking at the right, and we've seen so much nonsense from the right in the last few years, whether it's Jack Murphy, someone that appeared on Tim Pool consistently, and he was nothing more than a fake and a phony. Recently, you've seen this Eliza Blue person who has gotten Brittany Venti and the Quartering suspended from Twitter, and this is a friend of Elon Musk, and she's a darling of the right, and she appears to be another phony. It's really, really bad what's going on. And when you have this Steven Crowder versus Daily Wire situation right in the middle of it all of the people on the left, all the people that are really the people that should be our enemies are just enjoying this. And this is all good for them. I'm interested to see how Steven Crowder is going to respond to everything that has happened. Right now, when it first went down, the internet was, I feel it was like 80-20, maybe 75-25 on Steven Crowder's side when it first happened. When he came out and said what he said, and then Jeremy Boring came out with his response, I feel like it was heavy Steven Crowder. I feel like as time has gone on, I feel like that's changed, and I feel like it's now pretty close to split down the middle, because honestly, both parties have reasons why they are justified from their perspective. I think from the Daily Wire perspective, it was an offer sheet. It was an offer sheet, and that's kind of standard where you introduce that to get the conversation started. But this is Steven Crowder. Steven Crowder is the man. And again, I say that as someone that doesn't really watch him or don't care to watch him and don't find him overly entertaining, but he's the man. He's the biggest independent conservative voice on YouTube, which is the second biggest search engine on the internet. Crowder is a big deal. You need to treat him like he's a big deal. It doesn't mean that you just have to give him everything in the world, but treat him like he's actually someone worthy of the respect that he deserves. And I feel like that's one thing that rubbed him the wrong way. And as a person that always stands for the individual, I do appreciate that he's clapping back at a company and a corporation like this. I can appreciate that. My issue is, this is, again, I'm just speaking on what I've heard from, if I'm wrong on this one, please someone correct me. I feel like Steven Crowder said him and Jeremy Boring were friends. I know Jeremy Boring said that, but I feel like Crowder said that as well. And maybe I'm wrong about that, or maybe I've heard him say it in the past. I know Ben Shapiro claims that him and Stephen are friends, and I think that that's pretty widely known. I mean, Ben Shapiro and Crowder were definitely friends, and Ben Shapiro claimed that him and that Crowder and Boring were even closer friends. Now, with all that said, if you're really friends and the way Crowder has played all of this out, it seems a bit shady. But there's always more to the story. And I hope that we're going to learn more tonight, because Crowder is going to be in front of what I assume will be 100,000 people minimum watching. And he's going to have to answer a lot of these questions, and maybe we'll get some clarity on this. And Jeremy Boring, to his credit, for a big company the size of the Daily Wire, for the co-CEO to come out and be as transparent as he was is very respectable. It really is. You had the Jordan B. Peterson situation where he responded, or at least he tweeted out support for Steven Crowder and then deleted it. I believe his daughter addressed that. She basically said, and this kind of sounds more like corporate speak to me, but Jordan B. Peterson's daughter said that Jordan B. Peterson sent that tweet out, not knowing the details of it. And when he found out, he was going to delete it. And the Daily Wire, this is according to his daughter, the Daily Wire didn't want him to delete it because it would look like they asked him to delete it, but he did it anyway. That doesn't sound right to me. Maybe it is the situation, but it just, the whole thing is very strange. Candace Owens, I thought Candace made a lot of great points, but she overstepped so much on TimCast when she was responding to Steven Crowder. I think she made the situation much worse. Ultimately, you do have to expect that the people that are part of the Daily Wire are going to respond. Brett Cooper made a response to Steven Crowder. And I will say, Steven Crowder's network, it better be a mega success, because he has burned a lot of bridges. A lot. And I feel like there was a different method for all of this to play out, but I'm on the outside looking in. And I really want to take a strong stance on this, but I don't know I don't know everything right now. So I'm going to have to continue to watch how this all plays out, but I have no allegiance to either one of these parties. I respect both parties. I appreciate what they're both doing, but I don't really care who's right or who's wrong. I just wish this thing would get resolved so that we can move forward. And that's the biggest issue that I hope comes of this. But I'm going to continue to enjoy it while it's happening, because, hey, I can sit around and just say, oh, this is bad, and these guys fighting is bad. Well, it is, but you know what? They're going to do it. So I might as well talk about it. I might as well try to benefit from it as well, because these guys clearly are in the business of simply looking out for themselves, which is nothing wrong with that. But the Daily Wire clearly is a juggernaut at this point. Steven Crowder felt disrespected, and maybe he's justified in his actions based on the fact that they treated him like a second-rate talent when he is the talent. He's the Tom Brady of the conservative YouTube world. He just is, and he needs to be treated like that. So we're going to see how this all plays out on TimCast IRL tonight. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you very much for checking out this video, and we will talk to you later.